The rain hammered against the cabin windows like 1,000 desperate fingers seeking entry. I stood in the doorway, soaked to the bone, staring at the man who would change everything. "You've got to be kidding me," I muttered, water dripping from my hair onto the weathered wooden floor. Ethan Cross stood by the fireplace, looking equally dismayed. His dark hair was plastered to his forehead, his gray eyes reflecting the dancing flames. He was supposed to be in Seattle. I was supposed to have this mountain retreat all to myself for the next 2 weeks. Apparently, my assistant and your best friend thought they were being helpful, he said. His voice a low rumble that did something strange to my stomach. Double booking the same cabin for the same date. I wanted to be angry. I should have been furious, but standing there, watching him peel off his wet jacket to reveal a black thermal shirt that clung to his athletic frame, I found myself momentarily speechless. "There's only one bed," I finally managed. My voice smaller than I intended. I noticed. His jaw tightened. "Look, the storm's only getting worse. The roads down the mountain are already flooded. We're stuck here, at least for tonight. Tonight. Just one night." I could handle one night sharing space with Ethan Cross, couldn't I? The universe, it seemed, had a different plan. Chapter 2. 5 years of almost unknown Ethan for 5 years. 5 long, complicated, tension-filled years. We met at a medical conference in Boston. I was a newly graduated physical therapist, eager and naive. He was already making a name for himself as a sports medicine physician. Our professional circles overlapped constantly, served on the same medical boards, but it was more than professional courtesy between us. Everyone saw it. My best friend Madison wouldn't stop talking about it. His colleague Ryan had actually bet money on when we'd finally get together. The problem: we were both too stubborn, too focused on our careers, too afraid of ruining a perfectly good professional relationship. And then there was the almost kiss 2 years ago at a charity gala. We'd both had just enough champagne to loosen our carefully maintained boundaries. We'd been talking on a balcony overlooking the city. Standing so close, I could smell his colon, something woodsy and warm. His hand had touched my waist. I'd leaned in. Our faces were inches apart. Then his phone had rung. Emergency surgery. The moment shattered like glass. We never spoke of it again. Now, trapped in this cabin with him, that memory felt dangerously alive. "I'll take the couch," Ethan said, breaking through my thoughts. He was already gathering blankets from the linen closet. "Don't be ridiculous. You're 6'2". Your feet will hang off the edge." I tried to sound practical, professional. "The bed's big enough. We're both adults." His eyes met mine, and I saw something flicker, their uncertainty, maybe, or something that looked suspiciously like hope. You're sure? No, I wasn't sure of anything anymore. I'm sure, I lied. Chapter 3. The first night, we moved around each other carefully that evening. Like dancers who knew the steps but were afraid to touch. He cooked dinner surprisingly well while I set the table. We talked about safe things, cases we'd worked on, mutual colleagues. The new sports medicine center opening downtown. We didn't talk about us. There was no us to talk about, but the cabin seemed to shrink as night fell. Every time we passed each other in the narrow kitchen, our shoulders brushed. When he reached past me for the salt, his chest pressed against my back for a heartbeat, and I felt that contact everywhere. Sorry, he murmured, but his voice was rough. It's fine, I whispered, but it wasn't fine. Nothing about this was fine. After dinner, we settled on opposite ends of the couch with coffee, watching the storm rage outside. The power flickered twice, but held. Why did you really come here? Ethan asked suddenly. Madison said you needed to get away, but she wouldn't say from what. I stared into my coffee mug, debating how much to reveal. Burnout, maybe. I've been working 70-hour weeks for the past 6 months. I just needed space to breathe, to figure out what I want. And what do you want, Sophia? The way he said my name, soft and careful, like it was something precious, made my breath catch. I don't know anymore, I admitted. What about you? Why leave Seattle? His laugh was bitter. Because everyone there thinks I should be married by now. Settled down. They don't understand why I'm not. Why aren't you? The question slipped out before I could stop it. He turned to face me fully, his gray eyes intense in the firelight. Because the woman I want thinks we're better off as colleagues. The air between us went electric. My heart hammered so hard I was sure he could hear it. Ethan, we should get some sleep, he said abruptly, standing. Long day tomorrow, if we need to hike down the mountain. But his eyes told a different story. His eyes said, please, don't let this go. I wasn't brave enough to hold on. Chapter 4. The space between the bed was indeed large enough for 2 people to sleep without touching. Ethan stayed rigidly on his side, facing the wall. I curled up on mine, facing the opposite direction. Between us stretched 3 feet of mattress that might as well have been an ocean. I listened to his breathing slow and deepen. The cabin creaked and settled around us. Rain continued its relentless percussion on the roof. I should have been exhausted, but sleep felt impossible around midnight. I finally drifted off. I woke to darkness and confusion. Something warm pressed against my back. An arm draped over my waist. Breath stirred my hair. Ethan, in his sleep, he'd rolled toward the center of the bed, and I'd apparently done the same. We'd found each other like magnets, our bodies seeking what our waking minds denied. I should have moved, should have carefully extracted myself and returned to my side. Instead, I held perfectly still, hardly breathing, memorizing the feeling of his body curved around mine. His arm was solid and warm, his chest rising and falling against my back. One of his legs had tangled with mine. This was dangerous. This was everything we'd avoided for 5 years. This felt like coming home. His arm tightened around me, pulling me closer. He made a soft sound, something between a sigh and a word. Was he awake? But no, his breathing remained steady, unchanged. He was holding me in his sleep, holding me like I was something precious. He was afraid to lose my heart. So carefully guarded for so long, cracked open. I let myself have this, just this. One night of pretending we were brave enough to reach for each other. I woke again as dawn light filtered through the curtains. Ethan was still curled around me, but now his face was buried in my hair, his lips against the back of my neck. And then I felt it, the softest press of his mouth against my skin. My breath hitched, his arm tensed around me. His breathing changed. He was awake. For 3 heartbeats, neither of us moved. The kiss, if it could even be called, that lingered on my neck like a brand. "Sophia," he whispered, his voice rough with sleep and something else. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't." I turned in his arms before I could lose my courage, until we were face to face on the pillow. "Don't apologize." His eyes searched mine, wide and uncertain. His hair was mussed, his jaw shadowed with stubble. He'd never looked more beautiful. "We're supposed to be just colleagues," he said, but his hand came up to cup my face, his thumb tracing my cheekbone. "I know. We're supposed to be professional. I know. I've wanted you for 5 years, Sophia. 5 years of pretending I didn't." Started again, beating triple time. "The balcony," I whispered. That night, I've regretted answering that phone call every day since. His eyes dropped to my lips. Every single day. "Ethan," he kissed me. Chapter 5. The kiss that changed everything later. I wouldn't be able to say who closed the final distance. Maybe we both did, meeting in the middle the way we should have done years ago. His lips were soft but insistent, asking a question I'd been waiting 5 years to answer. My hands found his hair, threading through the dark strands, pulling him closer. He made a sound low in his throat and deepened the kiss, his tongue sliding against mine in a dance that felt both brand new and achingly familiar. We kissed like drowning people finding air. Like we've been starving and finally found sustenance. His hand slid into my hair, tilting my head to give him better access. My leg hooked over his hip, eliminating any remaining space between us. Time became meaningless. There was only his mouth on mine. His body pressed against me, his hands mapping my face, my neck, my shoulders, like he was trying to memorize me by touch. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rested against mine. Christ. Sophia, he breathed. Tell me, this isn't just the storm. Tell me, this is real. This is the realest thing I've felt in years. My voice shook with honesty. I've been lying to myself, Ethan, lying to you. I thought if I kept us in the just colleagues box, I'd be safe. But I'm not safe. I haven't been safe since the moment I met you. He kissed me again, softer this time, but no less devastating. I'm not safe either. You wreck me, Sophia. Every time I see you walk into a room, every time you smile at someone else, every time you leave at the end of the day, you wreck me. Then why did we wait so long? Tears pricked my eyes. Why did we waste 5 years? Because we were scared. He brushed a tear from my cheek with his thumb. I was scared. You're brilliant and beautiful and way too good for a workaholic surgeon with terrible hours and no work-life balance. I thought you deserved better. I get to decide what I deserve. I kissed him again, punctuating my words. And I choose you. I've always chosen you, even when I was too scared to admit it. Chapter 6. Learning each other, we stayed in bed as morning light filled the room, kissing and talking and making up for lost time. His hands explored carefully, reverently, always checking my reactions. Is this okay? He'd ask, his fingers tracing the curve of my waist. He did, his hands sliding under my shirt to trace patterns on my skin. I shivered, and he pulled me closer, warming me with his body heat. You're so soft, he murmured against my lips. I used to wonder. God, I used to lie awake, wondering what you'd feel like. Okay, tell me. I kissed along his jaw, feeling him shudder. Tell me what you thought about everything. His voice was strained as I found the sensitive spot below his ear. I thought about kissing you, touching you, waking up with you, making coffee for you in the morning, coming home to you at night. Everything, Sophia. I wanted everything. I pulled back to look at him. That sounds like more than just physical attraction. It is more. His gray eyes held mine, unflinching. It's always been more. I think I started falling for you the first time. We argued about treatment protocols, and you refused to back down, even though I had 10 more years of experience. You were so fierce, so sure of yourself. I was lost right then. My throat tightened with emotion. I fell for you when you stayed 3 hours past your shift to help me with a patient who was struggling. You didn't have to do that. You didn't get paid for it. But you stayed because you cared. I stayed because you asked me to. He tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. I would have stayed forever if you'd asked. We kissed again, slower this time, learning the rhythm of each other. His lips traveled from my mouth to my jaw, down my neck, finding places that made me gasp. I love that sound, he murmured against my collarbone. Tell me what you like. I want to know everything. So I did, and he told me his secrets to where to kiss him, to make his breath catch, how he liked his hair pulled just slightly, the way he wanted to be held. We mapped each other with hands and lips and whispered confessions, building an intimacy we'd denied ourselves for too long. Chapter 7. The storm breaks eventually. Hunger drove us from bed. Ethan made pancakes while I sat on the counter in his shirt, stealing bites of batter and making him laugh. We're supposed to be trapped and miserable, I teased, swinging my legs. Instead, I've never been happier. He stepped between my knees, his hands on my thighs. Good, I plan to keep you this happy. Is that a promise, Dr. Cross? That's a vow. He kissed me softly. I'm not letting you go again, Sophia. These 5 years were enough time wasted. My apartment lease is up next month, I said, the words surprising me even as I spoke them. His eyes widened. Are you saying I'm saying we should probably date first? You know, do things in the right order this time. I grinned. But maybe we could date while living in the same city. Instead of you in Seattle and me in Portland. I'll move, he said immediately. I've been looking for a reason to come back to Portland. Anyway, you'd do that. Sophia, I'd move to Antarctica if it meant being with you. He was completely serious. But yes, Portland works. My colleague there has been asking me to join his practice for 2 years. I couldn't be in the same city as you and not have you. It was too hard. Tears blurred my vision. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. He wiped my tears with his thumbs, his touch infinitely gentle. No more pretending. No more just colleagues. I want everything with you. Everything, I agreed, pulling him in for another kiss. We ate breakfast together, feeding each other bites and stealing kisses between mouthfuls. Outside, the storm had passed, leaving everything washed clean and new. Chapter 8. Confessions by firelight that afternoon. We ventured outside to assess the damage. The mountain road was indeed washed out weed, bestuck for at least another day or two. "Oh no," I said, not bothering to hide my smile. "We're trapped together longer." Ethan laughed, swinging our joined hands between us. What a terrible fate. We hiked to a nearby overlook, the forest smelling of pine and fresh rain. He kept finding excuses to touch me, steadying my elbow over rough terrain, brushing leaves from my hair, pulling me close when the wind picked up dot at the overlook. We stood watching clouds race across the valley below. His arms wrapped around me from behind, and I leaned into his solid warmth. "Can I tell you something?" His voice rumbled through his chest into my back. "Anything." That night, at the gala, when we almost kissed, I almost didn't answer my phone. I saw it ringing and I thought, screw it, this matters more. But then I saw it was about Sarah Chunyu. Remember, the gymnast with the torn ACL. I remember. She was only 16. Right. And I knew if I didn't answer, if I put my own wants first, I might lose her mobility. She needed emergency surgery. He tightened his arms around me. So I answered, and I've spent 2 years wondering if I made the right choice. I turned in his arms. "You did. That's part of why I love you, B. 'Cause you would never put a patient at risk, even for something you wanted." The words hung between us, suddenly enormous. "Say that again," he whispered. "Which part?" "The love part." His eyes were intense, searching. "Say it again. I love you." It felt like freedom. "I love you, Ethan Cross. I think I have for years. I just didn't let myself believe it could be real. It's real. God, Sophia, it's so real. I love you too. I love your fierce dedication and your terrible coffee addiction, and the way you argue with me about patient care. I love how you throw yourself completely into everything you do. I love you." We kissed on that mountaintop like we were the only 2 people in the world. Maybe, for that moment, we were. Chapter 9. The walls come down that night. We built a fire and opened a bottle of wine from the cabin's supply. Curled up together on the couch, we talked about everything we'd never let ourselves say. I dated other people, I confessed. Trying to get over you. It never worked. Me, too. He pressed a kiss to my temple. Ryan set me up on blind dates, constantly. I went on exactly 3 before I told him to stop. None of them were you. What about that blonde at the Christmas party 2 years ago? You seemed pretty cozy. He pulled back to look at me, eyebrows raised. Were you watching me? Maybe, I admitted, feeling my cheeks heat. His smile was slow and devastating. Good. I was trying to make you jealous. Did it work? I wanted to throw eggnog on her. I buried my face in his chest, embarrassed by my own admission. His laugh rumbled through me. Dr. Sophia Chen, jealous. I wish I'd known. Would have saved us both a lot of time. Don't gloat. I'm going to gloat a little. He tilted my face up for a kiss. You were jealous. You wanted me. Past tense. Currently rethinking everything. Liar. He kissed me deeper, pulling me into his lap. You want me right now. I can feel your heart racing. He was right. My heart was racing, my body responding to his proximity like it always had. But now, finally, I didn't have to hide it. Maybe I do, I whispered against his lips. Just maybe. Definitely. Kissed down his neck. Absolutely. Completely. He made that sound again, the one that told me I was affecting him. His hands spanned my waist, holding me against him. We should slow down, he said, even as his lips found that spot below my ear. Why? Because I want to do this right. He pulled back, his eyes dark but sincere. I want to date you properly, take you to dinner, meet your family, build something that lasts. My heart melted. Ethan Cross, are you being a gentleman? Trying to be. His smile was crooked. Though you're making it incredibly difficult. Good. But you're right. Let's do this right. We settled back into the couch, his arms around me, my head on his chest. The fire crackled. Rain began again outside. And I felt more at peace than I had in years. Chapter 10. Secrets and promises tell me something no one else knows. I said into the comfortable silence. His hand traced lazy patterns on my shoulder. Like what? Anything. Something real. He was quiet for a moment. I have a daughter. I sat up, startled. What? Not biologically. He ran a hand through his hair, looking nervous. My sister died 4 years ago. Car accident. She had a 3-year-old daughter, Emma. Her father wasn't in the picture, and our parents. They're not exactly parent material. So, I got custody. Ethan. My mind reeled. You've been raising a child. She lives with a nanny during the week when I'm working long hours. But weekends, holidays, summers, she's with me. His eyes searched mine, vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. That's part of why I work so hard, why I've been so focused on my career. Emma will need college funds, opportunities. I want to give her everything. Why didn't you tell me? I touched his face gently. Why keep this secret? Then we'll be brave together. And we won't let each other slip away. Deal. Deal. We sealed it with a kiss that started gentle but quickly deepened. His hand slid into my hair, and I pressed closer, eliminating any space between us. Sophia, he breathed against my lips. We should stop, should we? My lips found his neck, and he groaned. Definitely should. Doing things right, remember? Right. I pulled back reluctantly. Though this is very difficult, extremely difficult. He kissed my forehead, but worth it. I want our first time to mean something, not just getting carried away. It would mean something. It would mean everything. He held me close, which is exactly why I want to wait. Just a little longer, until we're home. Until we've had real dates and told our friends and made this official. He was right, of course. And the fact that he was being respectful and thoughtful only made me want him more. "You're very honorable," I told him. "I'm very turned on in using every ounce of willpower I have." He laughed, shakily. "But yes, trying to be honorable, too." What if I said willpower is overrated? I'd say you're not playing fair. But he kissed me again, long and slow. "I want you, Sophia, so much it hurts. But I also want to do right by you. You already are." I settled into his arms, feeling cherished and safe. This is perfect. Chapter 15. The last morning hour, final morning in the cabin, arrived too soon. The road crews had worked through the night, and the pass was clear. "We should be happy," I said, watching Ethan pack. "We can get home. Back to our lives, our life together now." He crossed to me, taking my hands. "You're not having second thoughts?" "No, but I'm sad. This bubble is ending. Out there, reality exists. Our colleagues, the gossip, figuring out how to navigate working together while being together." "Hey," he tilted my chin up. "We've got this. Let them gossip. We'll figure it out together." "Together," I echoed, letting the word settle in my chest like a promise. We took one last walk around the cabin, committing it to memory, the place where everything changed. Where 5 years of denial finally gave way to truth. As we loaded the car, Ethan pulled me aside. "Before we go, I need to say something." My heart skipped. "Okay, I know we're supposed to take things slow, date properly, but Sophia, I'm already sure. About you, about us, about everything." He cupped my face in his hands. "I'm not asking for anything you're not ready to give. I just need you to know you're it for me. End of story." Tears welled in my eyes. "You're it for me, too." Yeah. I pulled him down for a kiss. "Now, let's go home and start our life together. Properly this time." Chapter 16. Facing the world, the drive down the mountain was quiet. Both of us lost in thought. Our hands stayed linked across the console the entire way. "Do you want to tell people right away?" Ethan asked as we hit the main highway. "Or keep it quiet for a bit? I think Madison might murder me if I don't tell her immediately." I smiled, thinking of my best friend's inevitable reaction. She's been predicting this for years. Ryan, too. He's going to be insufferable about being right. Should we tell them together? Maybe dinner this weekend. His thumb traced circles on my hand. I'd like that. Meeting each other's friends properly. As a couple. A couple. We were a couple now. The thought made me giddy. What about at work? I asked more seriously. We need to be careful about conflicts of interest. I've been thinking about that. His jaw tightened slightly. I should probably stop referring patients to you directly. We can work through other channels to avoid any appearance of impropriety. That's very professional. I can be professional. He grinned. At work, at home, however, ... at home. I raised an eyebrow. I'm getting ahead of myself again. But he didn't look sorry. One step at a time. We stopped for lunch at a small diner halfway home, sitting across from each other in the booth, sharing fries and stealing kisses when the waitress wasn't looking. Felt thrillingly normal and impossibly special all at once. I could get used to this, I said. Stealing one of his fries. You're supposed to. He caught my hand, pressing a kiss to my palm. I plan to feed you frequently. Such romantic plans. Oh, I have other plans too. His eyes darkened slightly. But those are for when we're not in a public diner. Heat flooded through me. Ethan, ... Just saying. He was utterly unrepentant. Fair warning for future dates. Chapter 17. Homecoming. Ethan dropped me at my apartment with a kiss that left us both breathing hard. I should let you unpack, he said, though his arms didn't release me. Get settled, you should. I didn't move away either. I'll call you tonight. You better. One more kiss, then another, and finally he pulled away with a groan. I'm going. I'm going. Text me when you get home. Yes, dear. He grinned at my expression. Too much. Way too much. But I kind of love it. Inside my apartment, I found 17 missed calls and 43 texts from Madison. Asterisk, asterisk, Madison. Where are you? Asterisk, 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 Madison. Why aren't you at the cabin? Asterisk, 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 Madison. Ethan Cross is also not at his cabin. Asterisk, 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 Madison. Sophia Marie Chen, did you two finally get together? Asterisk, 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 asterisk. I called her, and she picked up before the first ring finished. Tell me everything, she shrieked. 20 minutes later, after I'd given her a somewhat edited version of events. She was crying. I'm so happy for you, she sobbed. You two have been dancing around each other for so long. I was starting to think you'd both die alone and stubborn. That's very dramatic. It's very true. So when do I get to interrogate him properly? Make sure his intentions are honorable. His intentions are very honorable. Almost too honorable. Oh my God, you tried to jump him, and he said no. Madison. Am I wrong? She was gleeful. He's waiting. That's so... Ah, that's so romantic. I could vomit. You have a very strange definition of romance. Sophia, a hot surgeon who's been pining for you for 5 years, wants to do things right because he respects you. That's literally every romance novel ever written. You're living the dream. Maybe I was. #, Chapter 18. The first real day, Ethan picked me up Friday night for our official first date. He wore a dark gray suit that made his eyes look like storm clouds, and he brought flowers peonies, my favorite. How did you know? I asked, burying my nose in the blooms. I've watched you stop at the farmer's market every Saturday for the past 2 years. You always check the peony stand first. He looked almost shy. I pay attention. My heart melted completely. He took me to a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city. We got a corner table with a view of the sunset. And the waiter clearly thought we were celebrating something special. He kept smiling at us, knowingly. To new beginnings, Ethan said, raising his wine glass. Q. Finally, being brave enough, I countered. We clinked glasses, and I'd never tasted anything sweeter. Over dinner, we talked about everything and nothing. He told me about Emma's upcoming school play. I told him about a particularly challenging patient I was working with. We debated treatment protocols and laughed at inside jokes and played footsie under the table like teenagers. I'm trying really hard not to kiss you right now, Ethan said after the waiter cleared our plates. Why? Because if I start, I won't want to stop. And we're in public. There's dessert still coming. I don't want dessert. His voice dropped lower. I want you. The air between us went electric. We could skip dessert, I suggested breathlessly. We're doing things right, remember? I remember. I'm just wondering if maybe we've done things right enough. His laugh was strained. You're killing me, Sophia. Good. I reached across the table to take his hand. I want you to, very much. How much? His thumb traced patterns on my wrist, and I shivered. Enough that I'm about to suggest we get out of here and go back to my place. For whatever feels right. I met his eyes steadily. No expectations, no pressure, just ... us. He signaled for the check so fast I laughed. #, Chapter 19. Coming home, we barely made it through my apartment door before we were kissing deep. Desperate kisses that tasted like wine and 5 years of waiting. Are you sure? Ethan asked between kisses, his hands framing my face. We can still wait. I don't want you to feel, I'm sure. I pulled him closer. I've never been more sure of anything. He kissed me again, walking me backward toward the bedroom. We shed clothes between kisses, his jacket, my dress, his tie, my heels leaving a trail to the bed. When we finally tumbled onto the mattress. Skin against skin, he paused to look at me. "You're so beautiful," he breathed, his hand tracing from my shoulder down my side. I've imagined this so many times, but reality is so much better. "Show me." I pulled him down to me. "Show me what you imagined."